Hello to you. My name is Maria Kieślowska and you are watching Poland Daily Culture. And here with me in the studio on the Skype actually is Łukasz, film historian. Thank you very much for being with us.
All pleasure is mine. Hello.
So actually, as I've been talking to lots of our viewers and my friends as well, you're one of the most beloved film critics right now in Poland, I guess. Everyone is like smiling when I say that you will be the guest.
Thank you very much. Again, I can say that that's the greatest pleasure when people treat you like that. But now let's deal with serious issues.
Exactly, and this is the Decalogue of Kieślowski, which is one of the nicest pieces of Polish culture we can watch and we can see. The first part, so of course 10 commandments, 10 episodes, every single one devoted to commandments, and first commandment is, just for everyone to remind them, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. The question is, how was this text taken to the plot of a movie?
This plot is, let's be honest, especially at the beginning, simple. We've got a normal, typical Warsaw family with a father and with a son. Father is a good teacher of his son, and father is also a man of technique, one of those engineers who don't believe in anything what is at least metaphysical or full of spiritualism, but he believes in numbers, he believes in the figures, he believes in definitions, and he believes in anything except God. But his son, small child, he's a boy about 10, is the one who searches, who wants to know more about the world, and also know more about the world, not the world of figure, but world of metaphysics. And he's also a normal child. He wanted to play, he wants to slide on the ice field made on the lake in the center of the neighborhood, of the typical socialist neighborhood in Warsaw in the 80s. His father, an engineer, makes numbers, and everything shows him that this ice is safe. Nothing could happen to his son. At the end, of course, the ice is broken and the son is dying in this lake. At the end of the movie, the main character, the father, is going to the newly built church on the Warsaw socialist neighborhood and destroys an altar with the Częstochowa Madonna icon in the center. The Madonna is crying. What that part tells us? It tells us that God exists. God can change everything. God can treat you like a Hayab from the Old Testament and shows you that you will feel the greatest pain if you will not believe in him. That's probably one of the saddest, next to the part 5 about killing, part of the Decalogue by Krzysztof Kieślowski, because it tells us that God is not only the God of love, God is not only a God of forgiving and other part of forgiveness. God is someone sometimes cruel, someone who is a very ugly teacher from time to time, and he can make us experience people even by treating our family to death. It was a very controversial part of the series, I remember, because it was first so deep attack on the atheism in the Poland in the tradition of the communism. I think Kieślowski and Piesiewicz were provoking people very, very by the reason. They wanted to show that life and thinking about God is a serious question, not some nice and pleasant choices we are making and there is no any heritage or burden on it.
But what I've read on the internet and also preparing for this interview is the fact that most of the audience loved the most the first part, the first episode. So actually this one, even though the child dies at the end, and it's such a call against atheism, in the moment also when of course communism was all about being an atheistic, so being against religion itself, then suddenly I would say at this moment when the most religious movie, such kind of like this, is made, because even though I would say the God is at the very end, and there are so many arguments which are so often used by so many and still will be used by so many in the future, he suddenly says, but a God is I would say, jealous. Yes, he's a jealous God who wants to be on the first place.
Yeah, because God is jealous. When we read all the New Testament, he wanted to put himself on the first place. Of course, that love given to God, that love given to our supreme someone up there, is not the love which can destroy the other love. Loves to the children, love to the someone whom we love, to mother, to the lover, to wife, is not different than God love to us. Let's say God wants one from us: believe in his existence, listening to him, being a good servant of him, and understanding that life is a serious matter given by the supreme commander of the world, which is him. And that's what Kieślowski showed, that there are moments when God needs to put his finger on us and say, you are not very good. I will show you that you have to change your life. Sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's very horrible, like the path of the university or polytechnic lecturer played by Henryk Baranowski in the first part of Decalogue.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. That's the second commandment, and of course the second episode. And how this time the topic is showed.
For the young violinist, played by Krystyna Janda, probably one of the most important and most famous Polish actresses of the last 4 decades, there is a problem in her life. She has a husband, played also by the important and good actor Olgierd Łukasiewicz, and he's very sick, he's dying, and she is pregnant, but she's pregnant not with him. She doesn't know how to solve this problem: born the child or wait for her husband to be alive and tell him that this is not his child, this is not his child, this is not their mutual production of their couple. And that's probably very important movie and very much connected with the discussion we had at the end of the 80s, because it was the moment when discussion about abortion started in Poland. This discussion started very horribly and very cruelly. There were people who were supporting abortion and people who were against. It was as much hard as the discussion about the abortion now in our country. But the situation was different. Abortion was fully free, was not forbidden, and everybody has a right to do this. And abortion was treated as a typical anti-conception instrument. And in Kieślowski's movie, old ordinator of the hospital, old doctor, played by Polish Jewish actor Aleksander Bardini, is against abortion. That's the first so strong monologue and the character in the Polish cinema and Polish TV cinema who speaks so much against abortion, that life of every children, even that not ready born yet, is important. And he wins. Husband survives. She decides to not kill her child, and they receives a new life from God. It is very important movie because it tells us that, very similar to the first one, that we need to listen to what God says. We'll need to listen to the commandments. That God's definition of life and humanity is more important than ours. But paradoxically, this God now gives the main characters of the movie new life, new possibilities. It's much more optimistic part of the Decalogue than the first one.
So just to wrap up this episode, I would say that Kieślowski was definitely not politically correct at all, but still...
Good artist cannot be politically correct because the art, which is politically correct, no matter what politics is always bad one.
Fully agree. We'll put a dot here. And for you, the audience of Poland Daily, the only thing which is left is just to go and see the first and the second episode of the Decalogue by Kieślowski. because it definitely touches our souls and asks the most important questions and even try to answer them. Thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.